Hello, everybody. Getting a lot of good responses about the new tier list. A lot of people joining on the conversation. A lot of people saying, talking some smack and whatever. Um, but that's just as expected. Most people saying the obvious things like, "Well, I don't have any set gear, so this isn't true, or that doesn't count." Or a lot of people think that Jenny, for example, the popular hot topic, she does not need a nerf unless you have the Klein set. So we're going to be using Jenny today for some BOH maps without the Klein set and seeing if that's a big deal or not. Now she's obviously going to be running still the regular old sets. I do want all that crit. I do want all that hit rate. If I want to be super greedy, I guess I could probably put her over 30k attack. Um, by putting in a necklace here and a ring, and we'll just get rid of the hit rate. But I don't know what top teams where you might be running into. Um, but there's two ways that we can do this. Now, I want to talk about the square map in general today. This is the golden build with Klein. I'm finding because one, I got a crap ton of defense on turn one. I rolled confusion immunity. I had two pink defense immunities, so it sucked that I had to get rid of one of them. But I might also re-roll all these crit rate potentials into defense instead, because Klein's passive is just way too outrageously powerful. 1300 crit rate, like it's pretty nuts. Only problem I'm having with Jenny right now is I don't have crit damage on this bow. So I think we're going to drop Lena and I'll just take her Sweet Gold Tiger. Just the weapon, so there's no crazy effect. I might lose some crit rate, but the thing is this bow's crit rate percentage isn't there, so I really don't have... I'm looking around like, man, I've disassembled so much of my gear for extra mod potions that I really just don't have a sweet bow that I could just put on. It's nice to have a few just regular items that are good for swapping around. I even started raising this hoping that maybe cheap ones to just keep rolling it until I get 2 or 3 and maybe a pink one. So, we'll do that again right now. Let's go for it. I want a pink attack potential and a pink crit damage potential. Come on, give it to me. And crit damage, pink, crit damage. Oh well, I got a blue one. Well, I guess saying it out loud actually does make it appear. So make sure you practice that after you say your sobs. Oh, I'm getting a free set item soon. Oh man, what can I destroy for that? You know what? Maybe this. Is there any chance I'm going to put this on an area attack type a hero over top the Klein set? Probably not. Oh, I'm still short. Darn it. There's got to be some garbage somewhere. This is why I don't have any 5-star gear anymore. I used to be swimming in it, and there's literally nothing now. Well, I've got... No, I'm not getting rid of those. Alright, well, whatever. Do I have any friendship points? Oh well. Anyway, we'll do it later. Let's go take a look at the square map. The optimal ways to be making your formations and stuff. Doing a little bit of top tier talk here. But also we're going to be talking about Jenny. Now, Jenny, I'm obviously not going to be reaching the high 60s or even close to the 70,000 attack range with her. Though maybe I should drop her... What's my crit rate? 92. Yeah, I think I will drop one of these for a ring, whichever ring I have available that's nice. That's 1.6 and 70%. What's that? A 1.7 and no attack by MP. So that would be a good one. Do I have any... Is my mastery maxed? I don't think so. I think I just have the client set. Whatever, that's good enough. Is this nice? That is perfect. Alright, so we're going to put that one on. I don't have any like tricky platinum ones or anything like that, do I? Don't think so. Okay, so we're going to put this one on. Drop that. Who needs defense when you're Jenny? 97%. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. Give me some orange crit rate. at least one more blue one. If I get another blue 370, I'd be happy just because they'll all match. That does things for my OCD that the rest of this game just can't do generally. Like, I think that I really want them to just come out with the God of Massacre set so badly that, well, the thing is, I don't think it would actually really break Crut. I think what it would do is buff the living crap out of Raboff, because he's got this outrageous 370. Oh damn, outrageous defense against um, rock type heroes in general. Um, I don't know if somebody can do. I don't use Raboff that much. It's only because I'm too lazy to farm his skills. Like, I might start doing it. I was trying it for a while. I'm like, yeah, this is a waste of time. I'm really bored. But I think I might be going back to farming him every day as soon as I'm done Angela. It's just I'm doing Angela and Klein right now. They're almost done. Like, Klein basically done, and Angela is nowhere near because even though she's way easier, she's been out for way longer. I didn't plan on using her at first. Sweet, I got 78 perfect genes. We'll get rid of those just because. I don't really care about this skill that much, but I'll get it eventually. But now that I'm using Angela quite frequently, she's pretty awesome to have geared up frequently. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Jenny and Klein. They are absolute monsters on the square map, of course. There's a lot of crazy positionings. We're going to go over all those. And the reason we're not going to be using the Klein set on Jenny, we're going to be using, because a lot of people would argue that even including sets, without the Klein set, Jenny is just normal and plain and fine. So we're going to explore that. I guess we'll just stick with the 90 some percent. I could put another ring down here. That one's not got the best potentials. Crit rate, that's a high crit damage one. I know I've got a sweet ring somewhere. Is that my only good ring? Man, I've disassembled so much stuff. What's this? Oh wait, what about this one? Type by HP, 7% critical damage, no crit rate. No, thank you. This has been the most useless SS that I've ever had because I just never. It's still on Jenny. I think it's the only thing she's got. Oh, there's a couple things that are nothing but. Oh well, whatever. It's not like 97% crit rate's gonna get me in trouble. All right, so we're gonna go into it. Obviously, we're gonna be fighting a lot of all over the place teams. It is only Monday, so it's what it is. This is an all rock team. Now, all rock heroes, just like Raboff. Now, I did mention in the thread on Reddit, I might consider making Raboff just tier 1, just because. Especially this week because his 3 movement shouldn't really affect him that much unless somebody's like running a Lena in slot 2 or something, which is what I'm probably going to be doing. I think I'm going to be going slot 1 Klein, slot 2 Jenny. Sorry, I mean slot 2, not Jenny. That other name. Slot 2 Lena. Wow, that was so hard to remember. But there's some little things that you need to know. So I'm going to be switching up Klein and Jenny a little bit just because I don't want to switch the sets around to give Klein the extra movement. Also, we might throw a ghost step on Jenny just to experiment with different positionings that she's able to reach even from the second slot with overpowered gear. This person here is running a Jenny in slot 1, so in that case, I don't want them to go first and snipe my Jenny, so I would go Klein slot 1 first. So I think we'll go with this person first, just so I can show some of the positionings that you can get with the extra 1 movement on your slot 2 hero, if it's going to be a Klein or a Jenny. But basically, we've created, with the combination of having 2 heroes that can do this, the starting locations and the positions that the AI puts you in, there's really no way to avoid certain things. Now, I'm running Crut in slot 3 because it's very reminiscent of when I used to play Kai all the time. Alright, so I went first. So here's my options on slot 1 without any movement sets. Now, there's different ones with movement sets. There's very different ones with movement sets, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that. Let's see, is that possible? No. Think from right here. Could I hit? Yeah. All right. So right here, you can hit their slot 1 and slot 2. This is going to be the sweet spot for most players. Most players are going to be doing this because it's going to be Klein and Jenny slot 1 and slot 2. So this is going to be the crazy sweet spot. If you didn't know about this one, this is not a common one. So it's possible that you've never seen that one before if you're not familiar with the characters. But this is the general attack the AI is going to do. So when you're controlling, if you do not know about this spot, you don't need a movement set to do it. So you can see that's there. Now you also don't need a movement set to do this one here. So there's that one. There's this one. Sorry. Oh, I'm down the spot from your starting location. And then there's this one. So in terms of efficiency, the best one is probably this one down here. And there's a reason for that. There's really good reasons for that. Now I am not going to do this one because then his Jenny's going to come and hit me. Well, actually, no, that's not even a big problem. It's probably not even a beast range Jenny. Oh yeah, I'll definitely survive that. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now think of a lot of slot 1 heroes that move actually straight up to the tank and then attack him on their first turn when we're using Jenny on turn 2. So let's take out these two. Oh, no crits of course because I took all my crit stuff off. Alright, so you see how his Jenny moved there? And behind it could have hit that extra slot. Let's say Jenny moved to this spot right here. I would have been able to hit her too if she was the typical starting one. So if you hit the 3 and 4 and are able to sweep the 3 and 4, and they have a hero that comes and runs up to your tank, then on your second turn, again with no movement set, 1, 2, 3, you can sweep the other side, which is a big deal. It's a really big deal that you can do it without any movement sets, because typically slot 2 is the safe spot, and people who are going to be running the Arrogant Pureblood set really only have one problem. They're losing the Beast Rain for their maximum damage. Now they can make up for it partially with things like the Forgotten Hitter number 4 set, for example, or the Austere Noble set. If you have a bunch of Noblesse sets from that set time, there's a good chance that if you have the Arrogant Pureblood, you probably have an Austere Noble set. So then you'd come, you'd do this, and boom, that would kill both. Oh man, I should check the defense on that thing because we're talking about how Jenny's still overpowered even without the Klein set. Like why that's important is because Crut, like the top tier Cruts, even though my Bearman's defense is actually quite low from what it used to be, and so is his HP. My Bearman's HP when he's fully decked out in the best defensive gear possible is I think 76% defense and 188,000 HP. That's what it is. But I'm running the aggro sets right now, so they're a lot lower. But even with the aggro sets and the 5 or so less percent defense, even this Crut with 70,000 attack would not one-shot this Bearman. So Jenny, who we can all agree has, even with the Klein set equipped, less attack from the Klein set's bonus than Crut naturally has. Why is it so unfair for her? Because her extra 50% modifier is above and beyond the limits of every other skill or passive or any ability of any kind in the game. An extra 50% crit damage is a huge, unreasonable modifier. It's not fair to the game for the other heroes. It makes them uncompetitive because Jenny is the one who's got all the sweet perks. Like when Crut, who we can all agree has the most outrageous stats in the world, he has an attack that is higher than Jenny's base attack plus the attack bonus from the Klein set. And yet he can't take out the best scissor tank no matter how he's geared in one shot. But Jenny, she can take out if I give her a Klein set, I'm sure I can. Let's see if we can find a Muzaka or a Jack. Jacks are generally built tankier than Muzakas. Alright, let's fight this Muzaka right here. Because we are talking with a type advantage here. A Crut against Bearman. Jenny against Misaka. So let's fight Sind like. Um, might as well. You know what? Whatever. We'll just keep it the way it is. Now the reason I have awesome sets on and things like that, just the only one that I've excluded is the Klein set, and we're not using any 5-star set at all, is because a lot of people are saying don't nerf Jenny, nerf the Klein set. And I really don't think that would solve anything. Okay, what's this? Alright, so this is 71% defense and 97, almost 97,000 health. So at 71%, 90, let's just round it up to 100,000, it's easier. And we'll round that down to 70%. So if I'm only doing 30% of my damage, then basically I have to be able to do almost 400,000 damage to kill this Musaka. That's how much damage I'm going to have. Like, let's say whatever. Let's just say it's like 330 to 400,000 to be able to kill something like this. Because a lot of Musakas, even though if they don't have the Trinity set, will have something like a Pathfinder or a Defender of Earth set that's going to be able to put them into the 120,000 mark. So something like that. Now we'll just start this the same way. We're lucky enough to get a crit this time. That's the thing about a 40% crit rate. 40% is still a lot. Is there a way for me to, I'm pretty sure I can still hit. If I did have the extra movement, I think from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if I had a ghost step set, I can move to this square right here, and I would still, like the starting position for your slot 1 hero, and you could still hit both. So that's going to be really important for this week, because that's what the strategy is going to be coming into. It's not going to be for most teams important at all, but it's going to be something that's going to be really important in the way that you're going to be positioning your heroes for defense against these really overpowered teams that are set to fight with all these sweet tools. If you have a Ghost Step Jenny, for example, here, then basically, even if you can kill their first slot hero, then you still are subject. Like, let's say you have a Jenny here, she fires, she kills the tank and the first slot hero. Well, this hero goes next, and boom, that one comes and kills yours. Because it's got the Ghost Step, it can move back to the exact same position and fire the same shot. But let's just see how we do against this Musaka here. All right, so 35,000 hits. So that would be what, about is it hit 4 times or 5? I think it would be about 100. I think it only hits 4 times. So let's call that 140,000 damage to a 71% defense Musaka, and that's without a Klein set. Like, I really don't think that it's difficult to perceive or see. Like, the big difference is I've already got really high crit damage potentials on my gear. So the extra 50% really, really, really shows through for me, where maybe it doesn't for people who think that it's the lack of sets that it is instead of the lack of the potentials on their gear that they have. I'm actually just going to go and test to see. I don't want to be wrong here. Oh, I can actually switch that to, who's got the other one? Crut. Where did I put it? Is it on Lena? Yeah, it's on Lena. All right, I got another one with 4%, so I could put that on, make that perfect. Do I have a perfect? Let's see. Is it on Angela? No, it's on Klein. So that was 7.5%. Ugh, that's tempting to switch over. Oh, it's like Klein's got all the love. Yeah, I don't even really have my. That's my worst Dasmir set. If you want to compare it to some of the other ones. If I stacked all the crit damage on her, I could probably actually max out my crit damage. I think that I have a crit damage piece of all. Oh, you know what? I don't have a crit damage piece for 3-star. I think the best thing I have is my bow. I'm 0.8 off perfect crit damage. The only perfect crit damage items I have are things that I would never equip, like this. But I could probably reach near perfect crit damage. I think 14.9 might be my highest here. That's 14.9. Any of these really high? Still 0.8. That's not high at all. 14. Oh, that's blue. No crit damage on this thing. Fortunate. Or is it no crit rate on that thing? Alright. My Crut, by the way, is just because I changed one piece. I put this on instead of this, just so because I also want to be running Lena. And I'm going to be kind of running her in a slot too as a sneaky dodge twink with the gold tiger at the end. I'm just going to put her in randomly here and there, see how it pans out. Test her out against teams that I'm not faring very well against, because generally after 2 turns go by, the beast trains go away, and then I've got 850 dodge here, and then I've got another 2500 dodge here, plus the 130% attack and the huge 120%. Well, I guess it's 130% attack with the 10% from here, and then the 30%. So it's 130 and 130 attack and HP buff, which is better than Beast Rain Dasamir buff altogether. But I think it would be a great combination, especially with the fact that you get so much utility with Immobilize and weakening. Little, like 56.5% for a charm. It's not that bad, especially if it's your basic skill. They're not charm immune, and you can immobilize them and then switch between a skill that charms. So now maybe the next turn you can use a charm again and store up mana to get back to this skill. Things like that. Lena's got obviously one of the best kits for playing cat and mouse with. But where was I? Yeah, Jenny is just too strong. The way that she is, it just is what it is. So right now, 13.9 crit damage, 20% crit damage here. Oh no, I don't. It's one of the few pieces I don't have 20%. Alright, anyway, but she's probably close to around 60% then. Out of the 68, I would guess. Maybe 55 to 60. Yeah, no, this one's got bad ones. Probably between 55 and 60 at absolute best is what she's looking at right now. So that's just with their passive. Now I'm going to do a quick test with her. I'm going to swap some things around for the viewing masses who like watching me waste all my crystals swapping gear around for experimentation. We're going to put all of the best crit damage pieces on her, which that's going to have to go. Crut's gonna, or you know what? What's the highest one? I got. I think that this is the best one I got. 7.5 crit damage. Alright, so we'll put that one on. Okay. 4.8, 6.4, 6.7. Alright, so yeah, this is the only one with the perfect crit damage on it. You know, I'll just judge things. I don't want to keep re-equipping and taking things off. I'm just going to be switching it back in very near future anyway, so we'll just go without it for a minute. Alright, so here that's 10.4, so that's not that bad. I can go up to 11.2. I don't think that's worth the 20 crystals, but alas, that's what I said I would do. Or maybe we can just switch with this. We'll just make Crut useless the next fight, that's all. Maybe we'll just take him up for Angela instead. Oh, I need that actually. I can't. It's unfortunate. It's this one. Terrible. Alright, well. We're just going to say that 10.4 crit damage is enough, even though the other one would be pretty huge because it's a perfect Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. The damage on this is pink also, so it's a pretty big deal. Okay, and over here, what do we have? That's 14.9. I think she already got a 13.9 here, but a pink damage. So that 1% damage difference, I think, is made up for with the actual just damage. Oh, this needs some rework. Get rid of the crit rate, aim for another crit damage. Goodbye, crit rate. This is going to be where I'm going to be spending the next 200 potions. Oh, crit damage. Sweet deal. That's way better. Still blue, but still. Wait a minute. 11.7. Oh, it's out of 16. That's right. Okay. 14.9, 9.2. So that's a good one. I think we'll take Lena's. We'll take Lena's. 10.7, 13.9. Oh, you know what? It was better the other way around. 1.5 versus 1. Okay, that was just a waste. This is still technically better. Alright, well, there goes 20 crystals. And over here, I don't think I want to switch. I could just switch the Klein staff in, but then I have to take her necklace off, so she wasn't benefiting from that. So let's see there. That is 17.3, and then 13.9. Let me just write this down. I'll add it up. 17.3, 13.9. Over here we got 11.2. And that is a perfect 8, and this is a 7.5, so that's 15.5. And then the last one, I'm pretty sure I switched over to that perfect 4%. Alright, so that's another 4%. Alright, so what do we have here? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 56, 60.61. Alright, so I have 61.9 percent. Just double check my math real quick. I don't know. I just had a crazy brain fart and completely forgot my double check. Whatever. Let's just call it 61.9. You know what? If I don't check my math, I'll get criticized for it, and that's not going to work. All right, 4 and 11 is 15, and 15 is 30, and 0.2 and 0.5 is 7, so 30.7. And then 17 and 13 is another 30, so that's 60. Yeah, all right, so it's 61 and 1.2. So is it 62.9? No, yeah, 61.9. All right, 61.9% is our crit damage plus the 50 plus the 30. So if you don't know, 1.3 is the basic modifier, so that is equivalent to 30% for a base critical if you have 0 crit damage. Now that's something that's covered a lot, but for the sake of people who are newer who just don't know those things, I'm going to mention it. So there's 30% there, plus our 61.9% gives us 91.9% crit, plus Jenny's 50% passive gives us a whopping bonus of 141.9% crit damage. So that means that's how much extra we're getting. 141.9%. We're just going to round that up to 142 to make it easier. Plus 42 is the answer to everything, so that kind of works out for my OCD too. So the modifier, because you obviously do 1 times your damage, you add another 1 to that. So the modifier at the end of everything, remember, crit damage always goes absolutely last after everything else has been calculated. So it benefits from all bonuses. So you get all of your damage, all of your bonuses, everything all together, and then you multiply everything by 2.42. And that's what's going to come up for her damage. Now, the adding of 6,000 attack is definitely hugely impactful, but it is nothing compared to multiplying everything by basically 2.5 if you have perfect potentials. It is not even close. Now, here's a good one. Bearman tank. I think I'm gonna throw in a little love for Bearman here in the same video because a lot of people still doing the same things. I find Bearman is not a good hero. I don't know how many videos I've had to put up proving it. I don't know how many players who were very stubborn for very long times and then ended up doing things that were crazy and unbelievable, like dropping Jack for Bearman. Like if you look last week, until people actually had their Cruts maxed, nobody was using Jack in top tier. Every team was using Bearman. And then when Crut was going crazy popular throughout the middle of the week, it just became very natural to use Raboff. Okay, so this is a really tanky Bearman. So we're gonna take the overpowered Jenny. She's not wearing the Klein set, so she's not technically as overpowered as some of you want to believe. You want to believe that attacking Bearman is going to be the fair comparison of her strength, but we're gonna really put this into perspective here. So with the reduction, it's whatever his minus percent damage taken is. It looks like he probably has the Defender of Earth set equipped, to be completely honest. I might test that out after. I think I might leave Bearman for last. So let's go kill everything else first. Oh, or just nothing because Klein's a douche. Should put a ghost up on Jenny. Alright, well, let's just take a look at the damage. Alright, so he reduces damage by, like, my defense thing is, so I'm only doing 24, almost 24% of what my actual fully calculated damage is going to be. So, and then subtract that from the damage taken he's going to get, which is 30% for his type advantage and another, what's it called? Potential up to 19 for the potential, so on armor for a minus percent damage taken. So it's potential half the damage on top of that, which means I'm only doing 1/8 of my damage. If that was hard to follow for anybody, you could just put the comments down below. But basically, I'm going to be attacking this Bearman. I'm attacking from behind and things like that. But the damage that I'm totally capable of here is being reduced down to 1/8 of the damage. So we're just going to take the attack and we'll calculate how it is. This is why Bearman is so awesome. Damn. Okay. That did much more than I thought it would. So let's just take that and we'll multiply that by 8. So we did 55,000. So the damage that, like, to kind of put it into perspective, just how good of a tank Bearman is, especially considering Giant Klein and Jenny are the most overpowered heroes in the game. Definitely going to be seeing the most use going forward. Or as soon as people get them in maximum, some people have it faster. I understand other people aren't going to have them Klein maxed for maybe a month, 2 months. They're just going to be crying about it. Maybe Klein will be nerfed by the time they get them, which is always going to be really upsetting no matter who you are. But let's just take what we did here. So Bearman took 55,000 damage, but he really absorbed 400,000 damage. It just is what it is. Now, what I also like about Bearman is he uses his third skill. You notice how his defense actually went up a few points, decimal points in defense? It's pretty awesome. Bearman's the only hero where his skill works for 2 turns, and he's basically always in defense mode for that extra 2,000 defense. Plus, he's got, like I said, he's definitely wearing an Earth Defender set, so I'm going to leave him alive and see if we can turn it off to prove that he's wearing an Earth Defender set. Die. Darn it. Okay, so he's the last one standing, so it should turn off. It doesn't look like it did, so where's the HP coming from? No, it didn't. So that means he's probably using a Pathfinder set, because that keeps the health fixed. I'll have to check to see why he's got 115,000. I know it's definitely possible with Bearman to have 115 to 120,000 health with just really good potentials and no HP buffing set. Actually, you know what? That's right. That's what he's got. He doesn't have anything. He's only got 120,000 health. I used to have no Trinity set, and I was running around with 115, 120,000 health Bearman. So anyway, Bearman's just fantastic, and it's not fair that Jenny can basically two-shot him. Oh, if it wasn't for that skill, Bear releasing, he would have died to only being attacked by Jenny twice. And the thing is, Bearman's not going to two-shot Jenny. So, so what? Like, here we have the best hero in the game at taking damage. And without a Klein set, like the thing about set gear, we're going to go and inspect a CL baby here. Oh, meant to hit opponent information. I'm going to have to find them on the list. It's going to be a lot easier for people with APBs this week again, just because they can roll their Jenny and slot one all the time, fearless, because even if it gets one shot because they don't go first, they'll always be in position. With the did I go past him? Let me just see what his score was. Alright, whatever. What's his score? 1333. Oh, so oh, wow, my goodness, that was creepy. How did I miss that? Alright, so let's take a look at CL Baby's Bearman. It looks like to be a normal Bearman. I don't know why I was thinking I had an Earth Defender. Like, I should have known, like, with how many times you use a Bearman with a Defender has like 140,000 health. Okay, and surprise, surprise, we have 1200 HP from set bonuses over here, and we've got basically nothing right here. This is kind of a bit of a joke, to be completely honest. So even with that, he's that defensive. That defensive. Now, the thing that is cool about Bearman, and just building tanks in general, is the only thing that sets can do for you as a tank is give you more HP, more defense. Like, the thing about the more defense is he's already floating 76%. 20,000 defense, that is huge. He's got to have perfect defense potentials on everything. So that's a 14.4. That's a pink one. 9.3, I believe 10% is perfect defense on 3 stars, so that's pretty high too. 6.2, 6.7 I think is perfect, and 2.7, 3.3 is perfect. So, and he's got all brooches across the board. This is a brooch, not a necklace. The 2-star one for the frenzy set, I believe, is a necklace. But he's got all of this crazy ass defense stuff, all his potentials, which are pretty good too. 400, 390, 390. He's got these two he's got to work on. He'd probably rather have immunities. Though Bearman's a hero that doesn't really need immunities because he's really not expected to do anything. It is good for your other heroes if you have Bearman on your team to run with stun immunity if he gets confused or charmed, but it's generally more beneficial to him at times just to keep the extra defense. Now this guy's got over 20,000 defense, so he could probably go with dropping an immunity, but the potential here is just close to 2,000, so that's 10, 20, 60, 110. So he's 110 off, so he's got 1,890 defense here with just his potentials, which is basically equivalent to a really good Earth Defender set. And that 2,000 defense then gains more from his awesome, almost, I think defense is the potential. I think that goes up to about 68%. I think it's the same as dodge. I'll have to look it up on my spreadsheet later. But it's a really high modifier, so it's really more like 4,000 defense. Plus the thing about defense is the defense mastery always goes last, the one that adds 4.5% to matter to what you are. So it's really just a huge struggle to get to Let's see, he's at 73 per. Holy crap! This is a strongly defensive Bearman. Like, see, this is a Bearman where like the only thing that he could do to benefit himself would be to get the Earth Defender for this slot right here to gain the HP and hope that the 2,000 defense gain with the potentials he gets is better because like the Earth Defender gives you a counter set instead of a chess piece, and the 2,000 defense is the second set effect, not the HP. But this could probably, like with these potentials, I think he'd probably be able to reach close to 80% defense with this thing. Give him a Trinity set and give him an Earth Defender set. Like the game makers are aware of balance with practical things like being too defensive, even though they're completely throwing the ball down on dropping the ball on offense. It seems with like Drenny and making heroes like Crut with 12,000 attack base. But the Eldricus Trinity set and the Defender of Earth set do not have chess pieces for some reason. That's really sad. Actually, I think the only defense piece that is a chess piece, so it's not a give and take relationship, is the rock set for 4-star. Just go take a look at my Bearman right now, who's only got a measly like 14,000 defense, almost 15. Now I could bring it up to 20. Now there's 1500. This is only activated in battle though, so I guess I don't. I've got 17,000 or 1500 plus this, plus the potentials on top of the 1500. I gotta go check what my defense is in battle. But if I put the Defender of Earth set, take it off Klein, though I do have a piece, maybe eventually when I have a second one I'll put it on just for square map because aggro's not super important in square. It's helpful sometimes, but I don't know if it's going to be helpful for the Jenny Klein game. I think it might be better off for me just to switch over the Defender set. But I really want Klein to be more survivable because I just don't want him to get one shot by Jennies, especially ones that have Arrogant Pureblood sets that I can't kill first. So I'll have to play around with it, see how good it is this week. But I think I've got about 17,000 defense in battle, which does put me into, plus the starting 2,000, does put me up into the 70% range. So I should have 71 or 72%. But sets that give defense, no chess piece. I don't think there's a 2-star one that gives a huge amount of defense, unless there's that new one. I think this is a dodge piece, not a counter piece. The Defender of Earth set, which we'll go take a look at Klein, is a counter piece, and the Eldricus Trinity set is a dodge piece again. So problems. Just gonna go check that to see if that one of those new sets, if it's a. Don't want to be spreading misinformation. I think that new set it was a 2-star set. Just want to check that out. It's a 1-star. Oh no, it's a 1-star set. Yeah, that's terrible. Why would you choose that over something like the Slime King? I know it works for everything, but the Slime King works so much better. It's outrageous. Is there any 2-star defensive sets that I am not aware of? Let's take a look at that. Defense and crit rate, but this is a dodge piece again, even though it is clearly a chest piece. And there has to be an enemy within 1 tile, so that's no good against all awesome things. I know this is the stupid one with a crazy retarded restriction. It's not even that good for that. The Ranger, this is more offensive for balance, right? Defense by 700 if it's balanced. Alright, so you can have a defense set, but again, this is an HP dodge. So this would still work good on a tank, even though it works better on a balance type hero, because you can still gain, another 700 defense and some HP. Crit rate and attack, no, that's not going to be useful. No. Taunting Busybody, this is something a lot of people would associate with tanks, but look, again, it's dodge. It does have the increase. I'm always thinking about the taunt. I'm never thinking about the increased defense. So they don't want to make it possible to stack dodge to a point where it's impossible to actually kill somebody. or have it so something can be so tanky that it can literally regen against all heroes. Now I think the only hero that's viable with currently is Raboff because he gets his passive is so awesome. So against full rock teams, it's pretty ridiculous. Even this aggro set is a shield. Well, you know what? I stand corrected. Crut so OP as the attack type hero. He's got the only defensive set, sort of occasionally defensive set, that is a chess piece. So good on Crut. Oh, and we're into 3 stars now, so that I take back what I said immediately. So it doesn't exist in the for most pieces of gear. So we're gonna go do a few more. Just throw Jenny in slot 1. See if we can fight some stronger teams. This person's got 126k. Like I really don't know what threshold you're gonna start considering people who are strong. Like people who have Sierra, people who have costumes on their clients. Generally, you could assume that they're at least strong players. Um, Running sets. Now I can't speak for all of them. We'll just have to inspect them all. So we'll fight these 5 people. 2 of them. Well, this person's using Lance. I think this will probably be the hardest team to beat because I am basically just running a Crut that doesn't even have all this equipment on. What am I missing from Crut right now? Oh, just one accessory. Whatever. We can put something on. I don't want to put that on though. I got a necklace. Sweet. Oh, that was nice actually. Oh no, crit rate. Whatever. Who needs crit rate, right? You got enough. Actually, I probably should check the whole team, see if everybody's geared up. Not using Angela, so that's fine. Bearman, Jenny, Klein. Not gonna be using Lena. Yekaterina, by the way, is going to be so awesome this week. I think that I might be switching Crut out for Yekaterina. And instead of running her with the Klein set, I think I'm going to run her with the Omni set and go full defense and make her super utility. Just because, well, I've got really good immunities. The only one I'm missing is obviously Confused. But the thing is, if I get hit by a Klein, I'm not expecting to survive. So I'm keeping that crit rate. I might switch all these to defense though, just drop crit rate in general and just make her as a sleep tank, which is a bit of a two-edged sword. If I'm playing against a team of players that have ways to awaken from sleep, I'm in a bit of trouble. If I'm not using the Klein set and I'm fighting against a Raboff, I'm in even more trouble. Now, what's nice against with the fight against Raboff, I could probably hug the wall and run around in circles to regen my mana. uh, but if you can't kill him, that's it's useless. But Yekaterina is getting a bit of a buff also because the only heroes that can survive her. I don't know if Crut wakens from sleep with his revolving passive. I haven't tested it yet. I'll just ask somebody real quick. I would assume he does. Let's just ask the general chat. Because it does happen at the beginning of his turn, I thought. So I think it should wake him from sleep. It doesn't. That's odd. I put her in the buff list. Those are the nerf list. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna fight some people. Hopefully we can fight. It would be really cool if we can get up and fight Jagetta or Wob or Lord. We'll see if they're on our list. Maybe they've attacked me actually. Oh, we got Wob, and we got Blue Sapphire, and we got Jay. Alright, so we're gonna fight these guys. Yeah, we're gonna fight these three. We'll fight them in order. I guess who's the lowest ranking to highest ranking? Right now I want to get the most points, so it looks like we're going to fight Blue first, which is sad because I'm pretty sure he's got the strongest team of all three of them. That sucks. Alright, so we're going to go and attack Blue. Um, let's see. Is he running? I think he might be running a Ghost Step on somebody, so I think not having the full battle suits might screw me over here. Whatever, it's fine if we lose. Um, I really don't care about losing. I was asking people in Guild what their all-time records are, because if you don't know, I'll show you how to check your all-time record for Battle of Honor at the end of the video. But you can check it in your achievements under Battle. There's your achievement for how many wins and achievement for how many losses, and it shows what your current ones are. So you can, in a sense, check your total. Okay. I think just because I am actually going to try and kill that. Oh, look at that. Not even half my HP and still OP. Wait, what tank was he? He was using Musaka. Okay. Alright. Now, if I go right here, I'm pretty sure that Klein, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, will hit me. So I don't want to go there. I think I actually have to pass my turn here. I could kill this Jenny, but I think that the Klein would be able to hit my Bearman, and I'm just going to leave it out for it right now. Though I could hit Klein and hope he just goes for Bearman. Let's try that. And we can, oh, there's no, yes, he took it off. I think he might have put it on his Crut. Okay, so we just one-shot Klein. Now his Jenny couldn't one-shot my Klein, and it's wearing a Klein set. Oh, what in the heck is Blue doing? Maybe he hasn't changed his team yet. I wonder what sets he's using. He's only have 35,000 attack after turn 1. Did they change it so the Arrogant Pureblood, when you die, it turns off your set effects? Interesting. Okay. I don't need to go for the immobilize here. So I think I'll just use the basic attack. Alright, well that explains. I thought that my Klein would be like really low on HP, so this is weird. What is my Jenny's attack, by the way? Is it 48,000? After, so my total attack is 48,000. Now keep in mind there are people with Jennies with the Klein set and perfect attack potentials. I think there is one person who's got a Jenny with over 70,000 attack, which is as high as my Klein. So keep in mind I am at least 20,000 attack less than some other players have their Jenny without my Klein set right now, and still one-shotting things like a boss. Okay. Oh, and Klein obviously too, because he's the stat monster and he's got all the crazy attack. His crit damage has gone up. Let's see. So 12,411 is 10%, and I've lost 60. So let's just say that that's not quite 50% of my health then. So that's under 50% of my health. So 40%. So I have a 40% buff by this. So it's 1,300 times 4, which is another 5,200 crit rate, and my crit damage has gone up almost another 30%. Which just with that was able to kill. You know, I'm gonna have to inspect his team. Maybe he's switching his sets around right now. I'm gonna use the basic skill because it's stronger. I don't need the immobilize because I think that Crut is just going to attack the nearest other Crut or dodge me completely. Whatever, that too. So is he using the Ghost Step? No. I just have such a bad hit rate without the full. What? 18% hit rate. 13% dodge. Okay, well, apparently I missed. Oh, you know what? He does have a ghost step, and that was his second turn. Okay, so it's just turned off now. For a second, I thought that I might have just been retarded enough to think that Jenny was not overpowered. So anyway, we're gonna go check out Blue and see what was going on with his gear there. Maybe he's just swapping things around and he's online right now. Okay. But he still has 144k, so he's got to have a separate build. Let's take a look at his Jenny. No, he's got everything in place. Okay, so it looks like they might have changed things because there's no way that his Jenny, after only a single, no, his Jenny went first, and then I don't think his Jenny took a second action. It died, came back with the APB. I do not think that it took a second action. I'll have to post in the comments if I'm wrong, if I missed something. But it looks like this Jenny, which should have probably around 50 some thousand attack, 50 to 55,000 attack with the Klein set, and the Dasimir. What's your crit rate? I don't know how people aren't able to like. I don't use this set, but I'm very, especially when I'm equipping a Pathfinder, I'm able to get a 100% crit rate Jenny very easily. He's only got one immunity, and he's got way better crit rate potentials than me. Damn it, Blue, that's awesome. But I don't understand how he's not able to reach 100% with that. He must not have amazing crit rate potentials. Well, that's good. That's good. It's not bad. That's good too. It's not like it's low end of orange, but still good. Oh wait, no, that was I was thinking it was 4-star. That's good. Well, I don't know why his crit rate's so low. Whatever. Mysteries of the universe. Damn. This belongs on Klein. Damn, 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 damn. And Blue says he can't get good potentials on this gear. Yeah, he can go eat a dick for thinking that. He's got awesome potentials on this gear. I have no idea. Maybe he's not using the crit rate Lord Mastery. Maybe he's using the cooperation one for some stupid reason. Can't imagine why, but could be. It doesn't seem like you should have lower crit rate. Just go over to my Jenny real quick and take a look at her crit rate. Or you know what? Where? Let's see, Muzaka, Crut. Huh. 76% crit rate there. Really? But oh, he's using the paper set. He must not have a second Klein set right now. Poor Blue. I know a lot of you are thinking, the hell with poor Blue, this guy's rich as anything, and he's got crazy stuff. But he's not using a second APB this week, so I think he's going to need to switch that back up. I'll have to tell him later. Okay, well, I wasted enough time on that. Let's go attack. Let's see, Wobcode or J, which one's higher right now? I think J's first. Nope, Wobcode just went above him. Alright, so we're going to attack J first, and then we're going to go with Wobcode. And I'm sure this is a Klein here. They're both just running alternate versions of the same thing. Who is my slot one? Is it still Klein? Alright, let's go with that. This what Aroto's saying is like so true. Muzaka just solos the dragon this month. It's true. Oh man, if you haven't beaten Todd, if you can get to 110, like it's very possible just to solo the dragon with him. Okay, now do I want to get my Klein killed? All right, here's the dilemma we're at right now. His Klein, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's where I am right now on the angle. Where I am right now, I can hit his one, and this is going to be important for anybody who's running this formation yourself. Uh, I can hit his 1 and 4. I can also come over here and hit both these characters, and I would kill them because now I've taken damage. I don't know which hero. Well, actually, I could check to see. 60,000 attack. So there's an Arrogant Pureblood on that Klein for sure. Otherwise, he'd have over 70. And there might be one on Jenny, but I thought that Jay only had one. So that's a tough call. Maybe he doesn't have a second Klein, and that's why his Klein's attack is so low. I'll have to inspect later. This would be a better decision if the APB is on Jenny, because I'll kill that Klein for sure now that my crit damage and crit rate is through the roof. Plus, I'll take out crit at the same time, which is a nice added bonus. You know what? We'll go with this anyway, just because I want to. But, it's good to demonstrate too, because from here, Klein doesn't move, and then we'll attack my Klein and my Bearman at the same time. So we might just be screwing ourselves over here, because I don't think that my Crut can take on. Well, it's a Bearman there, so I just have to. No, it's not safe. It's not safe. I don't actually want to lose. So we're gonna go kill the Jenny first. Look, Bearman, best tank of all time. See it, that spot over there? I would have been hit, and my Klein would have died. Bearman, best tank of all time. This one does have a 4-star HP set, not a Trinity set, but 70% defense. It's probably Pathfinder because he can't beat 70% defense, so he's probably wearing a few pieces that give dodge and aggro. Also, the Pathfinder gives a dodge to boot also, so that explains the health and the sub 70% defense. But we were still able to do 87,000 to him. Now, again, potentially he's got up to 19% damage taken. We'll just say that he's on the low end and it's only 15, because 4%, that's like not having one of your 4-star potentials. Generally, all tanks are going to have every minus damage taken percent they can get. My Baron doesn't right now because I've got the Eldricus Trinity, so I've got the HP to not really need it because it doesn't actually change how many attacks I'm going to take or not. But before I had an Eldricus Trinity, I had a Bearman with 18 point. Let's see, I think I'm not sure if I was missing 1% or not, but I had near perfect minus damage taken percent, and it was awesome. So I'm doing potentially 45% less damage to him with this attack. Now with my buffs from my passive, now Klein is using the Klein set, but again, take this and then multiply it by relatively something close to 8 for how much he is absorbing. At the 70% defense, that's a little bit less than 8. So we'll just say we'll multiply him by 7, or even just multiply it by 6 to see how much damage that we are doing to this character. 30, 69. Well, that wouldn't be. No, yeah, we'll go by 6. That's quite a lot off. It'd probably be more accurate to say 7. Multiply it by 7. But let's just multiply it by 6. So we just did 87,000 damage. So round that up nice to 90 to make up for the fact. 9 by 6, 360,000 damage that you're doing to another hero. Now, within this crazy defense meta, what heroes are going around with area spread damage attacks where you hit literally infinity things? Just not right now because this is a bad example. But when is that the regular? When is that what is normal or what should be happening? My client's already gone, so I'll hit Jenny from here. Activate her APB. Oh, I already did. Okay. Why would people argue that it's acceptable or even like it's something that should be or it's perfectly fine It's something that I completely disagree with. I think I'm gonna get hit by Klein anyway, so we'll just hit the. I'm gonna hit the immobilize on this, just because then I have a kind of a stepping stone for my Klein. All right. All right. He did use the arrogant pure blood set. All right, so I'm still good. I have Jenny anyway, so it's perfectly fine. That just dies. And again, we're not even using the paper set. I could take the paper set off Angela and just put it on Jenny, because it doesn't seem like she actually needs the damage at all. I'm thinking to myself, since I'm only going to ever use 2 attacks to do all this stuff, why even bother putting the Klein set on Jenny? The whole purpose of the Klein set is to get a huge burst of attack, obviously, but all that it's really doing is it's not really actually saving anybody. So far, my Klein is set up basically pure defense. So take a look at my Klein. My Klein is set up pure defense. Almost 13,000 defense. If I reroll all these potentials to defense, I could probably be up to close to 15,000 defense. Another 1,200 plus the potentials on top of that, along with the 2,000 defense extra start. I'll probably have like a 72 to 74% defense Klein. Then he gets hit. He loses half of his health. And remember, he doesn't have 98,000 HP. He's got another 2,000 defense and another 18,000 health from that set. So I actually already have another 4,000 defense on turn 1, which would put me up to 17,000, plus the potentials on that 4,000. So it's like you could do the math. I'm well over 70% as is on my defense. I only have 50% crit rate, but that's more than enough. I lose half my health. I gain 5,000 crit rate. So even without the potential percentage gain on that, I still go up to over 100% crit rate. It's a little concept known as efficient balancing of your stats in a very optimal way. I'm planning to get hit. I'm thinking that I want to just actually reroll all of these just for immunities. But the only thing that I would be missing is sleep immunity, which I haven't quite figured out yet. There's no way I'm putting on an extracurricular set. This is just not reasonable. Like it's 3 turns away, so when's that going to help me? It would, if it was just Klein versus Yekaterina, and Yekaterina got to go first and put me to sleep. If she has the damage to be able to put me out before she runs out of mana and things like that, which is very difficult to do. I still think that that's still a coin flip, because if I go first and it's my turn instead of Yekaterina's turn, then I'm going to blast her from 6 range away. There's very few places that she can be where I can't reach her with Klein, because the diagonal gives me a 6 tile range. This is one of the things I think I mentioned before in the other video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I'm playing on the angles, let's say we are not perfect. If like the safest place to be versus Klein or Jenny is in the same row as them. But that only works for 1 turn. You can't run away from them forever. Because if you're, let's say I'm over here on the far end, then I hit 1, 2, 3. That's where I can hit. So you could run 1, 2, 3 and stay out of my range. Then I move 3 again, and then you go to the end. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then my range. So you could avoid me on a linear path for 2 turns. But let's say you were on an angle or something like that. Let's say you're 2 spaces up from me and 1 space over instead of 3 spaces straight away. If you go and you with your Yekaterina and you move 1, 2, 3, 4, you're still in my 3x3 hex if I go 3 movement, because 3 up and 3 over. So you're still in range. It's really hard to avoid this hitbox. It's like, just look at the picture. It's stupid. Doesn't need to be like that. They should probably knock the corners down and make it more of a one of these hitboxes. Trying to think of somebody who has one. Yeah, obviously. Make it something more like this, but only in the 3-3 range. Okay, even this skill, if you count it out, it looks like it's hitting a lot, but if you count it out, 1, 2, 3, does not hit So if you just take this little 3-piece Tetris piece off all sides, just took the corners out of Jenny and Klein's skill, it would be a heck of a lot more fair. Or if you just made it the same shape in the 3 range, so it actually was a legitimate 3 range, it would be much more manageable, and you'd be able to deal with things a lot easier. Do I have anything equipped? No. Anyway, see, I think we still have one more battle, so we'll take care of that, and that's going to wrap up this video. I'm just going to post this under the comments on the current video about the tier list, and people just claiming that Jenny doesn't need, so that she absolutely needs the Klein set. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, you had all those other good sets or whatever. But the thing is, it's like the point I'm trying to drive home here is it is not the Klein set. The Klein set is not the problem. It's definitely not helping. It's definitely helping the problem by giving Jenny a huge amount more of attack, like as if she actually needs that. But it is not the problem. Remember, we are not running with a 40,000 attack Jenny. We are running with a 30,000 attack Jenny. The extra 10,000 attack is, if you don't think 10,000 attack is notable. And again, we're fighting top tier teams here too. We just fought 2, and Jenny was fantastic in both of them. So let's go back. We'll fight Wab Code. I don't think he actually even has. Just take a look at him, see where the how he's running his team right now. I think I should probably make a note of which ones are running Arrogant Purebloods and where. Oh, I think my mouse is tripping out here. Brand new mouse, tripping balls. All right, 36,000 attack. All right, so no APB on this Jenny. I don't know if he actually. I think he's one of the ones who doesn't have one actually. And no APB on that. Alright, so no Arrogant Purebloods on his Jenny or Klein. What's cool though about his awesome potentials, he's got, oh, he's using this, okay. So with this set and this set, it's basically the same as having a Klein, only he gets a lot more crit rate. But I think Jenny, kind of, like there's 2 ways to look at the benefits of the Klein set. Now the Klein set gives a huge amount of attack, and it makes her skill cost laughably low. So you can, maybe you could only cast 2 before, and now you're casting 4. It's not just that you can cast the 3rd one, it's that now you have 4 turns of regen as well. So it's not just the decrease, there's also your regen every turn. Your regen every turn can generally keep up with 2 without it, but with it, because you have an extra 2 turns of regen, oh, you have enough to do it a 3rd time. Oh, and now the regen from all the 3 turns that you're going and the 4th turn coming in, now look, you've got enough to do it a 4th time sometimes. So like you can really throw this skill down. And that's like the real big thing. Now, does Jenny actually need 4 shots? Almost never. Almost never, especially not on the square map. So maybe I'll just put the paper set on her myself. We're going to go into this one with some probably very predictable results. Looks like he's using a mostly paper team. Slot 4 is Angela. We're going to take a look at all of his heroes in battle, see their in-battle stats. And again, this is just my opinion. I do not think that Jenny, or Klein for that matter, have fair skills. I do not think that it's fair. Like, I'm building basically tank Klein, and he has 100% crit rate and higher crit damage than even Jenny under perfect scenarios. That's a little bit unfair. If it's not unfair, then how would you describe it? 73% defense here, 63% defense here, but only 88,000 health. If I don't get the crit, I will not kill it. I'm sure I can probably kill these without crits. Yeah, so we'll just go and attack these. Oh, no crit on Jenny, and I couldn't kill her. Oh, surprise. But I have confusion immunity Klein. Oh, but you know what? I screwed myself because now my Klein's going to get shot by his Jenny too. Alright, so let's check out this Angela now. 73% and 108,000 HP. That might even survive. We'll see. But I think that's actually probably going to survive with a little bit of low HP. There. All right. So that time, if I had the Klein set, yeah, I would have definitely killed it. And here's Bearman, just being a boss. Okay, now this is a tough one. So this Jenny's got 4 movement. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So I think I'm safe here, and if I'm not, and I get both my characters one shot, well, it was just meant to be. Yep. Okay, I thought I was safe. I guess I just wasn't. All right, now this should be an easy win. This Jenny doesn't have any mana left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the next turn I get my movement buff, so I'm just going to come into the corner here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. See, if he was able to charge up enough, then just by going 1, 2, 3, 4 straight, he would still be able to hit my Crut. So we'll just end that there. He doesn't have the mana to use it, and we'll just go and clean it up nice and easy over there like that. So dodge. It would be funny if it dodged. And then it just one-shot me with a basic skill or something. Yeah, so it looks like attacking slot 2 and 3. Like I keep planning that I'm going to get attacked first. Like it's definitely, my team is definitely better being attacked first. Now, if you are playing against teams, let's go back into just the formation in general with Jenny and Klein. Any other sweet defensive teams we can do? No. Wait, what? Jay Gutta didn't defend against, sorry, didn't revenge me. I revenged him. Oh, that says 8 hour ago. So my attacks are my revenges? There we go. That's more like it. Yay. Alright. Oh. Those things. Can we reset? I kind of want to fight stronger teams. This person, Deathstorm, is basically right below me, right? So we'll see if this is an APB user. I don't recognize the name. Maybe he just didn't want to play in Bridge last week. Using a Katrina though, so probably doesn't have APBs. No. Alright, so this looks like a more free-to-play player, just using the sets that he's been able to collect over time. He's probably pretty good. What are the other heroes he's using? Katrina, Crut, and Musaka. Alright, so too many rock heroes, so it's probably going to be an easy fight. Let's just see if there's anything crazy going on. Nope, just good, high potentials, good strong heroes. This is what I want my I already forgot. Yekaterina and Crut. Okay. This is what I want my Smurf account to look like one day. Oh, and he's actually a lot of people complaining about this set. How come it's not coming back? I had like 6 at one point in time, and I disassembled most of them. I was actually raising them up pieces and then disassembling them from mod pods. I still have one completely unleveled, and then I have another one that's geared up in nice spots that's on my Crut right now too. Looks like he bought the package for the set though. Yep. Okay. Well, let's fight this person just because they're on the list. Another thing I'm going to reset. Or, you know what? I'll attack this person too. There's another person who buys hero packages, so. Alright, so let's go against Deathstorm. I know his BP is only 116k, but remember, power levels are BS. He definitely has a very strong free-to-play team. Oh, almost lost nothing. Must not have been crit. Oh man, that just did something awesome for me. This isn't broken, guys. So remember, sometimes killing their slot 2 and 3 makes their 4th go next. And then it moves into a place where you can connect the dots on 4 and 1. So really thinking Jenny, uh, uh, I guess I might use her instead of Lena. Alright, so let's just go. I'll take the paper set off. Now I'm going to take a bit of a drop because I don't have crit damage here. So I will take a big drop in terms of my actual crit damage. But I will gain 3,000 attack. So that's actually a tough call. I don't know if the extra 3,000 attack is going to give me as much as 17% crit damage. Like, I really can't stress enough. Crit damage is incredibly strong. I already have a 98% crit rate, so I'm kind of hesitant to make the switch. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll just leave things the way that they are. Maybe if I roll crit damage on that thing, then I'll change my mind. Okay, so we got 2 more swords. So we'll attack this Korean player here. I don't want to inspect him and see what his stuff is. I'll just go through and make the notes on who's using APB this week for the regular teams later, and then I'll just choose my targets because that's how easy it's going to be this week for most players. They're going to be blasting through matches super fast because they're going to know, all right, the APB's here, shoot here, die, die. All right, go shoot here, die, die. That's it. It's going to be every single time. There's going to be 30-second to 40-second matches and bar fights this week. Oh, sorry, I didn't have bar fights last night. I fell asleep with my son on the couch, so he was being a little bit of a crybaby at dinner. Who knew, right? And then I just went and I was exhausted and I fell asleep on the couch with him. So that was a mistake on my part. I should have hit 2 and 3 because I could have used Jenny to hit 1 and 4 there on this turn. I could have hit that spot. I just was talking about babies, so I forgot. But boom, 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 boom. It's not even the best skill to use in a lot of situations. It'd be better just to use the basic skill if you're just going for killing. But it just reminds me of when I used to use Kai. It's fun using Crut. Actually, that's a good comparison. That's how overpowered Jenny is, that she out damages old Kai's armor ignore. So if you don't agree that she needs a nerf, then you might want to reconsider what is nerf worthy. Ooh, sweet. We got another run against Jay Getta. And I forget, I think he was using the APB on Klein? Gotta check out Lord. Lord's formation is gonna be, again, like Lord is always got the OP combinations. By combinations I mean he's got the most money. So can't deal. Alright, so we kill Klein first. Jenny has the set. Yeah, no, we killed Jenny first, for sure. That's just too unreliable. If I go here, alright, this is where we're gonna get into some idealisms here. If he goes first and hits my Klein, I'm gonna kill his Klein and his Crut. If I go first, I'm gonna attack his Jenny and try to take his Jenny down a peg from the APB. And then I'll just let his Jenny attack my Klein. Well, that stinks. I think I wasn't paying attention at all, and I think I went first. Oh, no, I went second. Sweet. Alright, so I survive. I do infinity damage and kill these 2. Oh, I got dodged? Oh, I am so boned. Oh, maybe not. Klein survives again. Okay. Well, now that neither of them are probably gonna be able to hit. Yeah, because it's the AI, I'm in awesome position here. I'm putting myself over here so that Klein will act and then come and oh shoot, Jenny uses the second skill on man. You know what? This is just so awesome. What's your dodge? What is your dodge, bro? 55%. What's my hit? 47. 8% chance, and he got it. Whatever. This hitbox is OP, so we'll just go for it. All right, so unexpected dodge there, but I should have one-shot that that Klein. But with the magic of Bearman, like again, if you don't think that Bearman in aggro is like, there's got to be something. You know, that's how we're gonna finish the video. Gonna go into mirror 10 over here. And who do we want to drop? Guess we'll drop Nuzaka. Put in Bearman first. And we're gonna go. And this is gonna be how we're gonna wrap up the video. I don't remember what this was because I did this like, oh, what week is it? Whatever. I know I did it like in one of the, like either sometime in the first week. I don't remember when I actually sat down and beat Todd this month, but it was definitely a couple weeks ago. Another really easy run through on this month. Oh, it's this one. So, all confused. Alright. Unfortunately, I can't stand where I want to. So we'll just do this. Are they supposed to be that weak? It's just Nox with no HP? Whatever. Alright, we're going to leave heroes basically right beside. I'm going to move Lena. Let's put Crut over here. Spin to win. No, I want ones that are actually in range of Bearman to go and attack Bearman, so I should probably not do that one. Maybe this one here. Can you hit 1, 2, 3? Oh, they all have 5 movement, don't they? Yeah, they've all got 5 movement, so I can attack whoever I want. Alright, let's just make this easier. I love how the only hero that survived that was the scissor type. That looks nice. Okay, now we'll just see how many go straight for Bearman when there's way better targets to attack. 1, 2. Oh, but Jenny was in the, I forgot about the exit box. Oh, well, that was a potential 3. There's 3. He's immobilized. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. So everything goes to attack Bearman. Now, what's important about everything going to attack Bearman? Hey, guess where everything is? Right there. And if that was Jenny, everything would have died. The only downside was that I didn't have 2 Jennies and Jenny was in a bad spot. Because then these guys got confused and didn't rush into the middle to get hit by Jenny. Oh, that's right, aggro's still going. 1 and 2. That's right, 2 turn confused. So, with a little bit of actual thought and planning, Obviously, I probably could have been avoided being confused at all by my other heroes or them even being attacked at all. We did deliberately leave them in the center, and everything attacked Bearman. Everything. So if you disagree with the usefulness of aggro, you're fooling yourself. Anyway, that's going to be the last I do. Like if people want to keep claiming that Bearman is absolutely trash, he's no good, then maybe you are misunderstanding something. This is a tank. This is a symbol that says defense type. They're not the same thing. This is a hero that is a defense type. He is primarily used for this skill that does a fixed amount of percent HP damage. So things that aren't immune to percent HP, like laser cannons that one-shot everything, this hero is very, very good against. But generally, he's not very good. If you take away his percent HP skill, the best thing about Jack is that he's easy to get early on. He's the first defense type hero that you see after Chris. Unless you were around for Noble's event, then you can argue that Muzaka who is 100 times better than Jack in like every other imaginable way. Muzaka, again, this is just a defense type symbol. What defense type hero focused on defense has a base attack of 7,635? You want to compare that to something, especially because if you just made a brand new account the month that Noble's event came out, which a lot of people did, it did bring in some new players, then the highest attack hero in the game at that point in time that you get in the very beginning is tied for Crut. Well, I think Crut's a bit less, 72, I think. 7,200. So stronger than Crut. The strongest melee, because they're both melee type heroes. The strongest melee attack hero in the beginning of the game is Soraka, and the next highest attack, which is a ranged hero, with a little bit more, is the same attack as Muzaka, is Carrot. Carrot has a 76-35 attack also. They're both attack type heroes. Like the typing in this game is more of a convenience for Nexon. It is not always reflected accurately in their stats. Defense type heroes are not tanks. Heroes that do tanky things are tanks. A focused one-on-one versus just a boss that is not immune to taunt. Like, remember, Lance was one of the underplayed heroes that is not played like at all, and then they had 1 month in Todd where it wasn't necessary, but you could use his taunt skill, and it worked all the time. It's a 100% chance at max level. It's really easy to raise him, so they wanted people to invest in getting Lance to see, hey, Lance could be a good hero too. Now, is taunt on a single boss where it's not even really the only strategy to beat that boss? There was tons of strategies, but now they have taunt immune on other bosses. But like it seems like the heroes that they wanted to make good when they redesigned them, they made maps specifically for them to shine in, but then they just went back to normal afterwards. So it's like they had an immediate use right now, and then they lost their use again. So this taunt is not like, it would be good if you're running a swamp hero and you're using Lance in slot 3 against typical teams that aren't running the Jen and Klein formation, like more mid-range teams and lower level teams that come in, they gather around your aggro tank, and then this one comes and throws down this huge area skill and hits all 3 of them and taunts them all. So maybe you're not strong enough to just one-shot all 3 of them that gathered around the tank, like in some of my old vanilla videos. But you can bring this in, and then you could taunt them all. So now they're all going to use their basic skill, and they're all going to attack Lance. So it's like putting a double tank thing going on. All the heroes run and gather around your main tank. Miraculously, your main tank survives. He comes in, boom. Now he's the new tank, and they're all taunted. They have to use the attack on him, and they can only use their basic attack. So like it's not like there's no use to him. It's just very arguable whether you can call it practical or not. That's all. Against Jenny, maybe Golem Lance is the real answer, because if he can go first and taunt her, not so scary if she's only using her basic skill. I'm just joking there. Like, it's not practical at all to assume that you're going to use Lance to beat Jenny and Klein. Not that you can't, it's just not practical compared to some of the other options. Anyway, the best tank in the game is Bearman. The best healer in the game is Bell. It doesn't mean that defense type heroes like Jack were weighed in for their damage, Muzaka for their damage and their self healing, the way that I would weigh in Bearman as a tank. Because the only real tanks in the game now, Raboff, you remember, used to have aggro. He's lost his aggro for what I think is a much better skill. Um, in general, because it's a very focused skill, and they happen to release something that's very focused towards this, aka a 12,000 attack rock type attack hero. So Raboff became extremely powerful, especially with the square map being in rotation this week. Aggro is not that important in the square map, because the only thing it really helps is with Jenny and Klein. Instead of arranging themselves in a way that is most beneficial, a lot of people don't know this. Instead of arranging themselves in a way that is most beneficial to cover the most area, while also including the tank in that hitbox, they will generally attack the tank. So some people who are using Bearman in slot 3 were noticing this, or an aggro tank in slot 3, where if you had a slot 1 Jenny, and you probably saw some of my PvP videos, you would go up and I would just auto click and like double click the skill, so it's basically the same as the auto AI decision. Um, but I was using control, but I was double clicking it fast, so it just did the AI's decisions. And what it did was sometimes if they had an aggro tank in slot 3, the aggro would proc on my decision. Because I didn't specifically go and manually click the target. I was just tapping the skill thinking it was going to do the same thing that it did almost every single time. And what would happen is I would only hit the third slot hero because the aggro pulled the AI's decision away. Even though it could have hit the third slot hero, it would have to target the fourth slot hero to hit the third and the fourth together. So a lot of people don't understand that aggro makes the hero not just in the range, but generally makes it the target. Now, if there is a way to manipulate the hero so that the target is still the tank, and then you can put other heroes in, that's how they're gonna get beaten up. But the tank is going to be the target. Now, aside from Bearman, the only other tank, to my knowledge, is still Chris. She's lying around here somewhere. I think she's still got an aggro. Let's see. Yeah, so Chris has an aggro passive still. What's really bad about her is that because she's a paper hero too, so Chris actually is viable right now too against um, like a Crut like scenario. But the thing is, oh, I thought she had. Oh, it's a third skill. Yeah, her third skill does this effect, and she takes full damage from the distribution. It's unmitigated. So, like I said, I'm doing 6 times what I did to that Bearman. Let's say I attacked the Bearman and my actual damage was 400,000. The Bearman only took 50,000. It was an eighth, let's say. Chris takes 30% of the 400,000. And then she does it's not mitigated by her defense and things like that. So maybe Bearman survives, but Chris, just for standing near, not even in the hitbox, dies because she used this skill and her effect activated. So like she's not working properly. I don't think that's how they intended it, so hopefully they fix that in the future. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Was there one more fight? Okay, we went into one more fight, so let's fight Dark 16. He's got generally got good teams. Or we're going to reset and see if we can get Lord. Oh, we got Wapcode again. Alright, so we'll do him again. I'm pretty sure he was running 0. Man, this is why I always call it the APB. He's running 0 Air and Pure Blood sets. Anyway, sorry to make this so lengthy. Again, I just get on a rant at something, and I feel like every time I've made my point, that somebody's going to say, well, what about this or what about that? And I want to be really thorough with the examination. I don't want it to seem super biased. It's always going to be some level of bias. Can't help that. But oh shit, that was a bad idea. Oh, my Klein survived. Holy shit. No, we'll save the mana. Oh, damn. I should have moved closer. Blues hit you from the front. Oh, man. Need that Klein set, son. Oh, darn. Am I going to lose? What's your defense? 37%. Oh, wait. What's your dodge, then? Huh. Okay. Well, it looks like I probably win. Should probably use the healing skill, but I don't want to get killed either. Frig, that's a lot of attack. You know what, we're just going to use the healing skill because I think it's going to come in handy against the Crut. Or can I? No, I can't hit him. What are this? I hate new heroes. I never have everything memorized. What's the percent difference? 165 versus 198. No, I don't know. We're going to use the we're going to use the basic skill. Crazy overkill. Should have killed myself. Oh, but it's fine. Our Jenny survived. We'll go from behind this time. Heh. Oh, that's right. That's why I didn't kill him. I didn't have my second paper hero. Alright, so I lost my 50% crit damage modifier. I'm thinking, really? I thought for sure I would have killed his ass. So you see how big of a difference 50% is? That's actually a good thing that happened. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Long enough. I think the point should be taken at this point in time. It's not the Klein set that needs the nerf. It's Jenny's third skill passive that needs the nerf. It's Klein's third skill passive that needs the nerf. They need to be made more realistic with the passive skills. And again, you have to compare them. Like Angela has one of the best passives in the game, but 10% attack and 900 defense is dick all compared to 50% crit damage. And with Klein, I think his minimum is like his maximum is like 62% or something like that, 62, 63%. So you cannot compare 10% attack and 1900 defense to 50 and 60% crit damages. This is the first percentage added into the formula. Okay, like crit damage and things like that do benefit from this, but this doesn't benefit from crit damage, if that makes any sense. Every crit damage benefits from everything, and the best way that I want to illustrate it is, now a lot of people might think that because the uh, equation is very linear in multiplication, it's this multiplier plus that multiplier plus that multiplier plus that multiplier, so it doesn't matter what order you put it in, it is all going to be the same number at the end. Now that sometimes is true depending on how many numbers you're using, but it's not true when you're adding in tons and tons of multipliers. It favors the last multiplier being the highest, um, giving them the most effect. The other thing that isn't linear is increases in different multipliers. That's going to be the same. Let's say I have a 50% attack and 40% damage, but then there was a passive like this that gave me 10% damage instead. So it's 40% attack and 50% damage. If you're only looking at just attack and damage, because you're just switching 40 and 50 and 40 and 50, and there's only two, it's the same. But if you add in crit damage there, now you're using 3. And then you take 50% crit damage and 50% attack. The order is important. Having the 50% extra attack and adding it to that same multiplier, so you already have 1.4, now you add 0.5. So you have a 1.3, with Jenny it's a 1.8 without any crit damage. And let's just give a 1.2 and a 1.2 to crit rate and crit damage. If you take the 50 off of the crit damage and you put it on the attack, it's not going to be the same number that comes out at the end if you go attack times damage times crit damage as if the crit damage is on the end. It's going to be a lot higher if the crit damage is on the end. I'm not the most mathematically smart person in the world, but crit damage is the best. And it's the one that gives the biggest benefit. No one's going to look at Angela's passive and say it's bad. It's fantastic. If you look at Angela versus Sierra, a lot of people ask me what my opinion of was with Sierra when she came out. I said, well, to be honest, Angela's stronger than Sierra because her passive that gives her an extra 10% attack with her already good base stats. Now, if you just look at straight base stats, 10% more of this is still not over 9,000. So you think, okay, well, Sierra's better. Not true, because if you equip them all both with the exact same things, Angela gets the 10% attack increase from everything that gives attack, not just the base stats. She's within 400 with just, or I believe it's not yet, I think it's 9,200, 9,300, whatever. She's within a few hundred with just her base attack. So with equipment on, now she's much higher than Sierra. Now, Sierra can brand things, but they need to be in range when she starts to turn. Which we're on the square map this week, so let's just use that as an example, and bridge map last week, so we'll use that. Turn 1 bridge map, who's in range of being branded? Nobody. Turn 1 square map, who's in range of being branded? The tank, which for me is Bearman, so no fear. No fear at all. But Angela was a better hero, so like no arguing that her passive's good. Chenny's got a passive with kind of 100% HP is kind of a rough restriction, but 23% attack is huge. Like nobody would disagree that 23% attack is huge when the perfect attack potentials is 40% with just gear potentials. 23% is huge. But still, this is literally maybe 1/4 to 1/3 at absolute best as good as Jenny's passive, just counting the crit damage, ignoring her HP and the attack she's going to gain for the attack by HP modification. Because percent gained HP does apply to attack by HP. So like there's a lot of ways to look at it, and the thing is, it's just I cannot. If you could find a hero that has a passive, even like Lee's got one of the best passives with an awesome condition on it. Like not really an awesome condition if you run Serenity in your party like I was doing. Like for a while there, Serenity Lee Ice Map was just it was like for lack of a better word, it was a joke because Lee's potential was able to throw through roof. But then the Slime King set got fixed. I was making quotes with my fingers there, and now attack type heroes are beaten to the ground. But he has one of the best passives in the game. But it has a crazy hard restriction to get because you need to have a hero that uses active buffs. He can only gain 1 active buff himself. But using this skill, get the extra 32.5% crit damage, and then having this passive turn on at the same time. Now we're talking some serious damage. Plus a huge armor ignore. Lee is an absolute monster if somebody doesn't have a what's it called set. That's why Lee is always rated so highly. The only thing holding Lee back for being the strongest single output damage hero, because I'm going to be straight honest with you real quick. Lee, full buff, is stronger than Crut. Might be a little bit hard for you to accept, but Lee is stronger than Crut. Crut, his skills, his strongest one is his basic one. It's not even over 200%. His third one, let's see, I think there's something. Final skill power will be increased by 24% on mobilized enemies. So he's got some conditions. His passive, great. But we can all agree that this is a way better defensive passive than it is an offensive passive. And his crit damage only goes up by 20% compared to Lee's 32.5. So now, and the attack 34.5. Oh man, that's crazy too. But Crut, like I'll sit down and do the numbers for sure after. Like his attack, and it's basically the way that you should look at it like this. Crut has 3,000 more base attack than Lee, right? He does 20% crit damage under ideal circumstances, and he gets 34.5% attack. So with Lee, he gets 32.5% crit damage and 16% attack. So it's like he's taking the same kind of numbers, the same base numbers. Let's say that they're about even if you add them together, 54 and just under 50, so 46, 48, whatever. I'm going to round up to 50. We'll just say they're both at 50, but it is in favor of Crut for sure. But Crut's got more invested in the original modifier attack, where Lee is more invested in the crit damage modifier, which is way, way more beneficial. Also, Lee has armor ignore. Now, Crut, if he can hit an immobilized enemy, that changes things. But it says the final skill's power will be increased by 24%. So when I read this, the only thing that's hard for me to understand is, does that make this skill up to 214%, or does it increase the damage? Because it says the final skill's power, it doesn't say the final skill's damage. If it said damage, it would be like, that's how sometimes this text gets misleading. Because he can ignore defense and he can do 214%, which is how I perceive this to be. Whereas Lee does 216% and ignores 3,500 armor. So Lee's skill generally is stronger. It only hits a single target, but his skill is stronger, and his modifiers under full buff are better. So like Lee is basically a couple thousand short on attack compared to Crut, but I still think that he does have a higher output in damage under idealist conditions. They both have some pretty messed up conditions. Let's be honest about that. His being the even odd kind of makes his attack thing kind of underwhelming, to be truthful. And the reason that is because he doesn't get it on turn 1, and then on turn 2 it becomes his second turn. It becomes an even turn. So he gets the. Well, 1 second. Is that how it works? 1 second. Yeah, his even number turn. So his odd number turn, he starts off. So he goes and he attacks. So if you get him before his turn, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't get any of this benefit from his passive at all. Then he goes, and now in his off phase, he's got the defense. Then when he gets to his next turn, he's got the attack. So turn 2 Crut is really, or his second turn is really his strongest point, because then he could still have the Dasamir on. But that's really it. So if you're thinking Dasamir Beast Rain, if I can only have one, which one's better for Crut? It's definitely the Dasamir Battlesuit, because there's better 3-star sets like the Arrogant Pureblood compared to the Beast Rain. Because when he goes into defensive stage, his next turn, he's going to have less attack because the Dasamir is going to turn off. Then he's going to lose 34.5%. So it's going to trick people into thinking, oh man, he's so strong. Now I'm going to go. I did way more damage than that last time. I'm going to go attack this turn too. And then you're going to go and attack something, and it's going to be like, wait, that's like half what I did to that guy over there, and the same type. And this guy's even got less defense or things like that. But he's really going to be just benefiting from the Beast Rain, because this is going to turn off, and that's something that's not consistent. Remember, it's a revolving door with him. So where Lee's is like, boom, you get the buffs, good, you're good for 2 turns. Like I would go and use my second skill with Lee. So Lee also, turn 2, really good. He gets, let's say Serenity goes, puts a buff on him. He goes and he kills somebody with his second skill, which is so easy for him to do. At least before the Slime King set came out. He kills somebody with his second skill. Now he is buffed to crap. And he's got 2 more turns for that. Again, most ideally, his next turn, his second turn is going to be the best, because the Dasamir is going to turn off on turn 3. But the Dasamir, it's kind of like a consistency thing where Lee, his second turn, where he's got his first turn where he's only using his second skill, he might have the armor ignore, but generally if it's not a tank, he can one-shot it. Like, well, we're using Miley as an example because I've decked the crap out of him, of course. But he could one-shot basically all squishy-ish heroes that are not defense types with high 65 to 70%, and the rock type, for example. If it was another scissor type or a paper type for sure, he could one-shot all those heroes. You need to have an Angela with like a 70% defense and like 120,000 health to be able to survive a shot from my Lee, I think, with his second skill. And if I know that exists, then I'm just going to say, well, I don't need the buff for the crit damage this time. It's better just take this right off the field and I'll kill it. And you know what? I'm realizing I'm going on way too crazy about this. But that's just how strong Slime King set is. Like, Crut is new, and fun and flavorful, and he seems to be a good answer to every scissor hero in the game. So I think he's going to still keep seeing play. I don't think Lee's going to come back. I'm going to be using Lena instead of Lee. Times where I would have used Lee. I really miss Lee, and I really hope they bring up the GOM set because even with the Slime King set, if the GOM set came out, I would jump on that so fast. But again, those are some of the most amazing passives in the game, and compared to the 50% and potential 60 some percent crit damage that you can get with Jenny and Klein, it is literally a drop in the bucket. The absolute best non-Jenny Klein passive in the game has a potential output damage of maybe 1/3. It's not fair. Anyway, this has been way too long, so we're gonna stop it here. And I think that's like the 7th time I said that. So you